Hello, everyone. I am Fairuz Khan, and today I'm back with a brand new class. I'm back after 9 or 10 days. There was a gap in between because I was quite busy with my classes and my professional life. But I'm back again, and I'm sure, and I can promise that we are going to post more regular sessions here. So let's wait for some students to join. In the meantime, if you haven't liked our Facebook page, you have a chance now, right, to go to our page and just type in Firo's Education Services. We have plenty of videos, plenty of educational content. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is, we have over 60 videos and a lot, the plenty of videos that are quite helpful. So yeah, um, so there are some students here. Let's wait for some time and let's go ahead. Okay. So yeah, so today I'm going to start by talking about something quite important. So as you can see from the picture, if you can see my picture, let me just check. Yes, as you can see from the picture, uh, it's smokes that is coming out from chimney. And therefore, today's topic, I'm going to start off with industrial revolution. So we had industrial revolution in 1760. And by industrial revolution, I mean there were a lot of industries coming out at that point of time all over the world, especially in the Europe and Americas, depending on their need. Okay. So, because back then we didn't have a phone, we didn't have, let's say, fancy headphones like this, or we didn't have fancy products like hair gel or t-shirts like this. Things were very different, right? Most of the people couldn't afford luxury products. Therefore, industrial revolution focused on building, making primary products such as brick, such as coal that produces electricity, cement because people were building factories, houses, steel. Okay, so that's a good thing. That is a good thing. People were building what they needed during that point of time in 1760. But then when they were building these things, they didn't think about pollution. They didn't think about the negative impact that these industries are going to have on the society. They were just focusing on, okay, we need these things and we're going to build it. And there was a time where, because of so many factories and industries, there was a lot of pollution in Europe, in London, in America. Okay, and people were shocked, and people started thinking about, um, you know, that they have to find ways to solve this problem, because yes, you need industries, you need factories, you need brick factories, coal factories, but on the other hand, you cannot also go and pollute the environment. You need to stop that, right? And this is why, in the modern era, in the modern time, we have concepts like CSR, corporate social responsibility. If you have a business, that's fine, but you need to think about the environment, CSR. Okay, there is more than to your business. There is an environment which you operate in. You have to think about your neighbors. You have to think about the trees. You need to think about the poor people in your neighborhood. So all of those things. Then you have concepts like green business. You cannot waste products, you cannot waste item, recycle them. And then sustainability. Yes, you may have an industry, but then you cannot pollute. You cannot pollute smokes, as shown in this picture. You can't do that. Okay, yeah, and when I talk about sustainability, I can go forward and explain you more. This is a picture of my balcony, and the balcony of this house is beautiful, amazing. There's a lot of space here. It's just like out on the street, and that's why I rented this house. And you can see a tree right in the middle. And I asked the architect of this house that why do you have a tree in the middle? And he said this is sustainable architecture. And I said, can you explain what is sustainable architecture? By sustainability, he meant that when they were building when they designed this building, they didn't want to affect the environment around them. They didn't want to cut this tree, so it stayed like that. And this tree covers the whole building. It provides shade. Because of this tree, the building is more cool and it's more calmer, right? So this is sustainability. So therefore, taking that forward, in workplace, you have a lot of rules nowadays. Government has incorporated a lot of rules, especially on number one is employment practices. When you work, conditions of work, because you do not want to have conditions such as this: a dirty work environment, a bad working environment where you can fall ill, where you can have accident, right? Um, so government has regulations on employment practices. Government has laws on marketing behavior and consumer rights. We cannot make any product and lie to you about its functionality or about its price. There are some laws to it. Business competition, it should be fair. One company should not control the entire market. Everyone should have an equal chance. And of course, the location of business, right? Um, so the two main objectives of these laws are prevent exploitation of workers. You should not exploit workers, take advantage of them, because you have minimum wage levels, you have health and safety. When you go to work, you should be safe enough. You should have a clean working environment. You should have clean water at your workplace. You should have a clean toilet at your workplace. So there's so many things that you need to look at, right? And these legal constraints, they hover around recruitment. So when you're recruiting something, let's say if you're recruiting someone, if you're employing an employee, if you're employing me, if you're hiring me, I need to have an employment contract. Everything should be mentioned there, right? About my work environment, about my salary, my work environment, and so on. The rules. If you want to, get rid of me, if you want to fire me, what are the rules? Health and safety. A workplace should be safe enough for you to work. Minimum wages. If you work a day, you should get a minimum level of wages so that you can afford food and so that you can afford your rent. In the UK, the minimum wage is £7. In America, I think it's 12, $13. In Bangladesh, I just googled and saw it's around 8,000 to 8,500 taka a month. It's still low. So you should get you when you're working for someone, you have to make sure that you at least get the minimum payment, so that you can eat 3 meals a day, and you can afford at least a roof over your head. Okay. And you have trade union rights and responsibilities. Now, by trade union, what I mean is, let's talk about trade union. And you should know these concepts. For example, let's say you work for Samsung. It's just an example. Now, Samsung is such a big company. It's a multinational, very big corporation, and they're very powerful. Now, if you're working for Samsung, you're an individual who is very small in front of them. If I'm working for Samsung, I'm very small in front of them, and I don't have enough power. Okay? No power at all. So trade union, what they do is, trade union is a member of workers or a collection of workers from the factory, from Samsung's factory. There'll be other workers who will represent you, who will work on your behalf in matters like minimum wages or unfair dismissal. Let's say Samsung does not pay you the right monthly salary, so you can go to trade union and make a complaint that that you're not getting minimum wages, or you've been dismissed unfairly, and they will take the matter on your behalf. Now, why on your behalf? Because if you go individually to Samsung, you're very small in front of them. You have no power, and therefore, the relationship is not balanced, and they will not take you seriously. But trade union is a collection of members from that workplace, from their factory, the other members, and they will fight on your behalf. So you're more powerful now. And you can take matters like minimum wages and unfair dismissal. And of course, in return, you have to pay an annual or monthly membership fee, let's say 1,000 taka per month, because trade union will provide you services. But however, there's one thing very important: the relationship between a trade union and the company, let's say Samsung in this case, should be balanced. The relationship should be balanced. Company should not have command over trade union. They should not be able to control the trade union, and vice versa. Trade union also should not command the company. It should be a balanced relationship based on the situation. Nobody should take advantage of each other. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so that's a trade union, and and as I told you, one objective of these government laws are: they'll make sure you get minimum wages. They will make sure you're safe at your workplace. They will and you get your minimum wage rate. I've already talked about that. And the second objective is, um, trade union should be balanced. Nobody should take advantage of each other, and the power should be balanced in a company so that the company cannot take advantage of you, and the trade union also should not be able to take advantage of the company. It should be balanced. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to comment down on the comment section. We're having a great class. Today is a long class, actually. So let's take this forward. So today's chapter is chapter 8, external influences on business activity, business studies, Cambridge. So let's go ahead. Now, think about hiring, think about recruitment. Let's say you want to you have formed a new company, an IT company, and you want to recruit an IT specialist. Okay, so you need to hire people, and when you hire people, you need to make an employment contract. Now, what is an employment contract? Employment contract is a piece of document where you have all the rules and regulation: how much you will be paid, where are you going to work, your holidays, and so on. So employment contract will outline, will talk about your payment level. How much are you going to be paid? Monthly, annually, yearly, the benefits that you're going to get. Let's say car, holiday bonuses, festival bonuses, working conditions, what are the facilities, what are the disciplinary procedure. If you make a mistake, what happens? How many days you're supposed to work? 5 days, 6 days, yearly holidays. How many holidays you're supposed to get yearly? Like in international law, I think it's 27 or 28 holidays, if I'm not mistaken. Are you entitled to get a pension? And then these things are very important in today's time. Nobody should discriminate you or behave indifferently based on your race. Let's say you're Indian, Asian, American, African. Nobody should behave with you on the basis of your race, culture, religion, sex. You can be male, you can be female, you can be other genders, religion, in spite of Islam, in spite of Christianity or Buddhism. Everyone should be behaved properly. I'm not saying this. These are the international laws that outlines, that has that has rules over contract of employment. So when you're hiring someone, make sure you have an employment contract. Take some time to make it. There are plenty of samples available on the internet, and of course, do not just copy them. Implement your own laws and make a nice list of everything. Okay, so that's that. Now think about this woman. Okay, now this woman, of course, from the picture, she is pregnant. Now, can you fire this employee for getting pregnant? No, you cannot. You cannot fire this employee because of pregnancy, because this is a natural process. This is a natural procedure. Okay, this is not a sickness. A lot of them, in our country or internationally, thinks that pregnancy is sickness. No, pregnancy is a natural process, and women can work up to 7 months, 8 months of pregnancy. I have seen women working till the eighth month. Okay, so we cannot dismiss an employee if she's pregnant. No, that's a crime according to international laws. Then think about this man, and this man is wearing an Islamic hat. This man can be fired for following a certain religion, or let's say this man can be fired for celebrating um, Eid. That's his personal faith. Or this man cannot be forced to work overtime. Like, you can work up to, I think, 35, 36 hours. And then it depends on you. If you don't want to work, you can say your employee that I don't want to work because I've already worked 35 hours. I'm tired. Nobody can force you in working overtime. And you can take strict legal actions if your company force you. But again, having said that, the laws are different in different countries. In UK, Europe, America, the laws are more strict. The working hours are 35. But if you go to Namibia, if you go to other countries, in our country, you can work till 50, 52 hours. So it's different in different countries. Okay. Um, Look at this picture. So this wardrobe belongs to Mr. Mark Zuckerberg. And why am I showing this picture? Because it it has a very meaningful story. Now, when Mark Zuckerberg had his first daughter, he posted this picture and he said, I'm going back to work after 4 months or 3 months. And he was facing confusion of what kind of color to choose from his wardrobe. And we know that he always wears ash and gray t-shirt. But what I'm trying to say is that Mark Zuckerberg, when his wife was pregnant, he also even took a paternal leave. Now, even for men nowadays, we have this option for paternal leave, and Facebook has this opportunity. Even at FES, if you're going to be a father, you will get a paternal leave for 2 to 3 months based on the situation, right? It's not only mothers, but nowadays even fathers need to contribute as much as mothers. And we know after the child is born, it's a tough situation, right? If you don't have children, you will never understand. So yeah, let's go forward. It's going great. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to comment down on the comment section, and we will take the comment for you. You cannot fire an employee if they're pregnant. You cannot fire an employee because that person wants to celebrate a certain festival or follows a certain religion. You cannot force employees to work overtime. No, right? You cannot fire someone for nothing. You cannot fire someone for being a member of the trade union. No, you can't do that. And I already told you that these laws, these rules will vary from country to country. In Iraq and Namibia, there's no minimum wage. You can be paid, let's say, 10 taka a day. I mean, this is crazy. In some countries, we know that children work, even in Bangladesh, but Bangladesh is tightening its laws, and we are really progressing really fast. I mean, children should go to school in spite of working in factories, right? In some countries, working week can be 52 hours. In Denmark, you're only supposed to work 37 hours a week. But in other countries, in Asian, South Asian countries, you can work as long as 52 hours. And then there are health and safety laws at workplace, which you need to look at. And we will talk about that later. Now, this is a picture of a factory. It's called RF Brooks. It's in Leicester, United Kingdom. This was my first working place where I worked in the UK, not in Bangladesh. I started working at the age of 16. I've worked at a lot of places, but when I went to the UK, this was my first workplace. And this factory used to make meat pies for Marks and Spencer. Now, why am I talking about this factory? Because I was exposed to health and safety laws through this factory. Okay, when I entered the factory, I saw people working like this. They were working masks, and men were covering the beard, and they had hairnets, they had gloves, they had overalls, the uniform and boots. And I questioned myself, why so much of uniform, why so much of protocol? Because in a workplace you need to have certain safety features, because these machines that you see here can be harmful, so you need to protect yourself. These people are making food items. You need to cover your hand, you need to cover your hair, because you don't want hair particles to fall on food items, right? Think about a situation. Let's say you're buying a meat pie from a shop, and when you open it you get hairs. How would you feel? Or if you find cockroaches, right? So this is why there are health and safety laws. Workers should be protected, people who buy the products should also be protected, right? um, so there are a lot of health and safety laws. Okay, we even had to sanitize our hand before touching anything, wash our hands after every 1 hour or 30 minutes while working in the food factory, because we're dealing with food and we have to be careful. If you work in a chemical factory, chemicals may damage your body, so you have to wear something that protects yourself. If you're working with heat, you need to wear a heat protective equipment, right? So in a workplace, if you're not careful, you may fall, you may trip, you may not see an equipment, a machinery, a car. You may carry something heavy and you might damage your back, you might get hurt. Think about it. Work safely. um, then you might not be aware of video cameras and bang your head, or do something unprofessional. You may trip and fall. You may not see that something is in front of you. Let's say you're climbing stairs, you're not careful. Let's say there's water and you've forgotten to put a water sign. I'm sure you've seen water signs like, be careful, wet floor, be careful ahead. Make sure you don't touch any wires, any points, any dangerous machineries like this. Okay, make sure when you sit carefully. Okay, because all these things will make the work environment dangerous, and it may impact you as well as it may impact your colleagues, and it may make the work environment more harmful, more dangerous, and you don't want to do that, right? I remember I was working in a coffee shop in the UK, and I accidentally dropped a cup, and I thought everybody was going to scold me because I dropped a cup and broke it. But everybody was concerned about me, that are you okay or not? Have I hurt myself or not? Is everything fine or not? So, so make sure you follow these rules. Okay, we have to make the workplace as safe enough. Think about the Rana Plaza incident back in 2012 or 13, where the managers did not care about the cracked walls and the dilapidated condition, working condition, right? And eventually the building cracked, and our reputation was at stake. Our international reputation was at stake. You don't want that to happen, right? And we lost contracts from big multinational corporations. Yeah. And of course, now the standard has improved dramatically, and we are doing quite good. If you have any questions, please do let me know. We are doing really good. So, there are health and safety laws, and they aim to protect workers from discomfort, from physical injuries. Okay, and it's a legal requirement. Make sure the equipments are safe enough. Make sure you train the workers to work with the equipments properly. Make sure your workplace has a clean toilet. Please make sure your workplace has a clean toilet. In Bangladesh, in many offices, I've found really nasty and dirty toilets. Okay, make sure you have clean drinking water. These are basic human rights. Make sure you give enough breaks to people, adequate breaks. Let's say you're working for 7 hours continuously. That's inhuman. You have to give a break after 2 3 hours. Okay, when I used to work in Marks and Spencer factory, I think every 3 hours we were given 20 minutes or 15 minutes break, and there was a lunch break for 30 minutes. So and you should have a good temperature, not too hot, not too cold, right? You should be comfortable enough, and these are legal requirements nowadays. So when you're starting a company, think about these laws. Okay. And in the UK there are very strict laws regarding this. There is a team who will constantly inspect these things in restaurants, in offices. Even in Bangladesh, we have mobile court that constantly monitors restaurants and shops and factories, right? However, the both positive and negative effects. Let's talk about the negative effects of having these laws and so many things to protect the environment. Of course, it increases cost. Okay, somebody needs to supervise these things constantly. So you may need to hire an extra supervisor. That will increase your cost. You may have to pay higher wages to people because now you're following the minimum wage trend. Now you cannot pay anyone below the minimum wage trend, right? Minimum wage below the minimum wage. So when you pay more than the minimum wage, it'll increase your cost, right? If you give people paid holidays, pensions, leave for sicknesses, paid leave for sicknesses, maternity and paternity leave, these things will increase your overall cost. Now, these things can all be afforded by big companies like Facebook, Samsung, Apple. For small companies like us, it is a pressure. So you want to think about that, right? Um, when you want to employ more people and give them break, that will increase your cost. Buying protective clothing, buying protective equipment will also increase your cost substantially, significantly. So you want to think about that. But however, working for such a company that has so many good laws will make the workers more secured, more confident, more valued, more motivated. And we know that these kind of staff will have high productivity, high efficiency. And number two, a safe working environment will reduce the risk of accident. And therefore, you will not have court cases. You will not have problems. You're stopping the problems, right? So you're also avoiding court cases. So these are the three benefits of fulfilling legal requirements. We have more too. Fourth one is when you have such progressive laws, such good laws, then you have a high profile, right? Oh, now think about why does everybody wants to work for companies like Grameen or Boshundhara or Robi? Because they pay you well, they have laws like health and safety laws, they protect your right? And therefore they have a high profile, they have a certain prestige, and you can market them, you will get good publicity, good employees will be attracted to your company. Okay. And that's good in a way. And of course it will enhance the culture of the business. Okay. You will have a good image, good culture, a good place to work overall. So these are the five benefits, right? Workers will feel more secured, more valued, more motivated. Your productivity and efficiency will increase. You'll create a safe working environment, reduce risk, and therefore you will avoid expensive court cases, heavy fines. Number four, you will create a high profile campaign, right? And you can market that, um, and of course, it'll create a good culture in your company. What else do we have? Okay, so let's go ahead now. Now think about a scissor, stationaries. Think about a Coke. Think about laptops or AirPods or electronic items, monitors. Now, all these products has a certain consumer right. And what is consumer right? We'll talk about it. Okay, consumer right means we're coming to that. Individual customers are weak, and therefore consumer rights are means that they should be able to provide you the a product that is fit to sell, that works properly, that is not harmful, that is not dangerous, because sometimes large businesses, we know, may exploit their customers, and you don't want to do that, because as an individual you are weak. We've already talked about it, right? So whenever you buy a product, it can be a stationery, it can be a bottle of Coke, it can be a laptop, it can be a keyboard, it can be a monitor, it can be a pencil, any smallest thing, your consumer right must be protected. It should not be dangerous to you. It should work as it is stated by the company. It should not harm you. It should work properly, and the product must be truthful, right? So that is consumer right. Because individual customers are weak, this is why we have consumer right. Because large businesses like Samsung and Coke, they have a lot of influence, and you may be powerless in front of them. And nowadays, think about these phones. We have phones that are so scientific nowadays, so tech oriented. So it's difficult for people to understand. We don't know what kind of claims are made by them. Like Apple, Samsung, they'll tell you 52 times more than this, 3 times this performance. So we don't know that. So this is why consumer right is there to protect you, because you have bought this product with your money. So these big companies should not lie to you. Yes, it should be safe enough. Think about, I think it was Galaxy Note 7. It had a faulty battery and it did burst, and it was subjected to a lot of controversy. Phones like that are dangerous. Okay. And sometimes the third point is selling techniques are being pressurized on people. That please take this phone, we will give you a credit. You can pay 3 months later, or you can pay in installments. Why do companies have these techniques? Paying in installments, pay later, pay every month. These are pressurizing techniques. They are provoking you to buy the product. And later on, you will feel that you're paying off debts, you're pressurized to buy the product. So there are consumer rights, okay? Yeah, and we live in a globalized world. We have products all over the world, right? And therefore our rights must be protected. That's quite important. We have products from USA, UK, and Europe, India, everywhere. Okay. Again, think about Coke, think about stationaries, think about electronic equipments. Okay. Now, the Sale of Goods Act 1979 and 1982 states that the goods, let's say you buy these 3 products. These goods should be fit to sell. It should be safe enough. They should not have any defects. Now, if you've bought a Coke, it should quench your thirst. It should not be poisonous. They should be suitable for the purpose you've bought. If you've bought a pencil or a pen or a highlighter, it should work, right? If it does not work, that means they have conned you. Uh, they should perform the way it is described. Okay. Otherwise, if it does not work, let's say Apple claims that their phones are getting faster. So if it does not get faster every update, that means they're lying to you. Okay. So you have to be careful. So that is Sale of Goods Acts 1979 and 1982. It states 3 things. They should be fit to sell, safe enough, should have no defects. They should be suitable for the purpose that you've bought, and they should perform the way that you've described. Think about these 3 products and put them here. Then again, think about these 3 products and think about the Trade Descriptions Act, which describes that there should be no misleading descriptions. There should be no false claim made. Because aage kar dine, people used to make false claims in advertising that this is so better, this is that. But when you buy the product and you see that this is something else. And it happens with online shopping all the time. When you see a nice jeans or a nice t-shirt, it looks really good because the photography was done in that way. But when you buy it, you see, oh, this is not what I saw. So That's not right. That's an unlawful practice. Okay, so there should be no misleading descriptions, no false claims made. Let's say somebody is selling your chair. They said the chair is made out of leather, but you find that it's made out of plastic. It should not be like that. Okay. Again, think about these three products: Coke, electronic equipments like keyboards, computer, laptop, and stationaries. Okay. And then think about Consumer Protection Act 1987, which says that products should not be dangerous or defective like Samsung Galaxy Note 7. It should not be that. It should not burst open because, let's say, if you drink Coke and if it harms your body, if you die, if it food poisons you, then it's a problem. Then the company will be liable. Okay. And it is illegal to quote misleading price. Agar dine hoto, they would not tell you the real price. They would say that, okay, this bottle of Coke is, I'm just giving an example, is 15 taka. But when you actually went to the market to buy the bottle, it's 20 taka. So that's not right in a way. And this is why you have these acts. Consumer Protection Act of 1987, which states that products should not be dangerous, products should not be defective, and you should not quote misleading act, Consumer Protection Act 1987. Then you have Trade Description Act 1968, which says that there should be no misleading descriptions or false claims made, right? And then you have Sale of Goods Act, which states that products should be fit to sell, they should be safe, they should be suitable for the purpose that they've bought, and they should perform the way they've described. Right, we had a very long class today, 36 minutes, almost 37 minutes. Thank you very much. If you have any issues, problems, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to comment on the comment section. We will take it. We will reply to you. And do not hesitate to like our Facebook page, right? Share it with your family and friends. Free lectures during the time of pandemic, which is great. Also, do not hesitate to subscribe our YouTube channel. Go and hit the subscribe button, like and share our videos. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great weekend ahead. And I will be back with exciting videos again tomorrow. I promise I will not vanish this time. Thank you very much. I will see you again.